Hi there, it's Ryan from DoHardMoney.com. I hope you're doing great and having a wonderful day. Today, what I want to talk about is how do you do competitive market analysis in real estate, also known as a CMA, competitive market analysis. Basically, what you're trying to determine is what a property is going to sell for. And there's two different analyses that you can do. You can do an analysis based upon the as-is value, and you can do an analysis based upon the after-repaired value of the property. And those are two separate analyses because you're going to be pulling different comps for each one of those. There's also analysis that you can do. There's what's called a cost approach. What is the cost to rebuild this property? You can do an analysis based upon what's called the income approach, which is looking at the value of the property based upon a cap rate, based upon the income that's actually coming in. If these are new terms to you and you want to learn more about these, give me a thumbs up on this video and I'll make some more videos on those other terms that might be very helpful for you. But when we talk about the competitive market analysis, we're typically talking about what we're calling looking for properties that are similar, properties that are comparables. So if we're doing this, it's the same process for the as-is versus the ARV or the after-repaired value. The difference is what comparables we're actually selecting. So if I want to do a comparative market analysis on a specific property, and let's say we're going to be doing that on the after-repaired value of this property, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look within a mile of that property. The closer to the property, the better. And I'm going to look for similar square footage. So if the property is 1,000 square feet, I'm going to go up to 1,200 square feet, and I'm going to go down to 800 square feet. I'm not going to sort by beds or baths or any of those things. I typically want to just get an idea of what's happening in the area. And then I'm going to sort those properties. And I'm going to sort with the least expensive all the way down to the most expensive. That's how I'm going to sort these. And I'm going to start with the least expensive. And I'm going to look at that property and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to put my buyer's hat on and say, if I was going to buy, would I rather buy my property once it's all fixed up, or would I rather buy this property the way that it sits? And if I'd rather buy this property, then that's a value that I need to use. If it's like, no, this is basically worse than what my property would be, okay, go to the next comparable. When you go to the next comparable, once you find three what we call like comparables, yeah, this looks really good. This is really similar to what my property is going to look like. You stop. You stop right there. Once you find three, they're like for like, you stop and you look at those three prices. Maybe one's 150 and one's 160 and one's 170, and you're gonna say, okay, it looks like this property's probably worth somewhere around $160,000. Now, sometimes you have to do what are called adjustments, and adjustments are things that can get you in trouble. What an adjustment basically is if there's not enough good comparables, you make an adjustment. So let's say that there's a property, your property has a garage, but your comparables don't have a garage. Then what you're doing in an adjustment is you're giving it a dollar amount as to what you think it would be worth it for a buyer to have that garage. Now, you can look up appraisal adjustments and you can get some determinations. For example, a two-car garage is worth $10,000, or a bedroom or a bathroom is worth $2,500 or $5,000. You can Google that and get some actual appraisal adjustments. The problem is that that is not always the case, and I find them to be too low and sometimes too high when we're dealing with adjustments. So anytime you get into adjustments, you're taking on additional risk, and that you don't want to be taking on that risk. What you want is three really good comparables. If I'm going to fix this property up and there's three houses that are on the same street that are the same bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage, I have a really good idea. If those properties have sold within the last 6 months, I have a really good idea what my property is going to sell for. And so that's the other ticket to this, is you've got to make sure you're looking within the last 6 months, no more than a year. You want to be as close as possible, but no more than a mile. You want like for like properties, meaning a single family house for a single family house, condo for condo, and then you want to sort those from lowest to highest. If you have too many, you can start sorting by square footage, and then you can start at the top at the least expensive and work your way down. And once you find those three that are comparable to what yours is going to be. One of the cool things, if you want to get access to all this data, hit the thumbs up, because what you need to do is check out Investor's Edge. We have access to all this data so you can run some really good comparables and you can know what's happening within the target market areas. So I hope this is really helpful. There's multiple ways to do competitive market analysis, from the price approach to the cost approach to the comparables approach. When we're talking about the comparables approach, it's finding those properties that are like for like properties, making sure you're starting with the least expensive by putting that buyer's hat on, and then going through and saying, what are these properties really worth? You may have to make some adjustments. If so, know you're taking on additional risk. Be careful when you make those adjustments, and that's what's going to happen if you're trying to make a comparative market analysis for real estate. I hope this is helpful. If so, please give me a thumbs up, and we'd love to have you be a part of our community. Check us out over at dohardmoney.com and make it a very profitable day.